Non-interactive operating system installation. Non-interactive server configuration utility helps deploy operating systems without user intervention. To install operating systems using NISCU, modify the niscu.cfg configuration file to include the information such as the target server, the SCU ISO file configuration, and the log collection details. Modify the config_ file to include information about the operating system's details. Prepare the answer file for custom installation, and run the run_snapshot_niosi.py script to begin the installation. Modifying the niscu.cfg file. For non-interactive operating system installation, you must first configure the niscu.cfg file, which consists of the default, SCU, log collection, OS, answer file, and target system sections. Each section must have a unique name. The section name is provided by the user. Non-interactive server configuration utility uses the following configuration files to deploy an OS to a given server. These files contain OS and target server details to assist with the installation. Now let's take a look at how to initiate the OS installation using the niscu.cfg file. In the SCU section, provide the IP address and access details of the share where the SCU ISO image is located. The SCU section consists of the following parameters: a name for the section, the IP address of the SCU ISO share, the location of the ISO image in the share, the name of the SCU ISO image, and the share type. NFS, CIFS, and WWW share types are supported, and the user credentials to access the share. In the log collection section, provide the IP address and access details of the share where the installation logs will be saved. The log collection section consists of the following parameters: a name for the section, the IP address of the share where the log file is generated during the installation, the location of the log file in the share. The log data generated during the installation is saved in this file. Enter the absolute path of the share. The protocol type used to access the share. Only the SCP protocol is supported. And the user credentials to access the share. In the OS section, provide access details of the share where the config file is located. The config file contains the operating system details that are used in niscu.cfg. The OS section is for a single operating system only. If you want to install a different OS, repeat this section with the corresponding config file. A name for the section. The name provided here should be used as the value for the config section parameter in the target server section. The IP address of the share where the config file is located. The location of the config file in the share. The config file that contains the operating system details. The user credentials to access the share, and the protocol used to access the share. SCP, SFTP, and HTTP protocols are supported. In the answer file section, provide the access details of the share where the answer file is located. The answer file contains details about custom OS deployment. This section is optional if you want to install an operating system with default settings. Enter a name for the section. The name defined here should be used as the value in the answer file _ section parameter in the target server section. The IP address of the share that contains the answer file. The location of the answer file in the share. The kickstart file. For custom installation, the kickstart file contains the required installation details. The user credentials to access the share. And the protocol type used to mount the share. SCP, SFTP, and HTTP protocols are supported. In the Target System section, provide details about the target server where the operating system is being installed. This section also contains details about the config file and answer file that are passed to the niscu.cfg file. For deploying operating systems in multiple servers, repeat this section with the details of target server, config file, and answer file. When naming this section, use a format followed by an underscore and a number. The number defines a target server instance. The IP address of the target server where the OS is being installed. The user credentials to access the target server. The SCU image file name, and the name given for the OS section. Select the node where you want to install the OS. This option is applicable for only C3X60M3 and M4 servers. Enter 1 to select node 1, enter 2 to select node 2. Enter all to select both the nodes. The name for the answer file section. This is an optional parameter. The answer file section is required only for custom installation.